Hi, good morning, and welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode 641. This is our second attempt at it this morning. Um, I just wanted to make a little note to anyone watching the other live stream. This Hopefully everybody can find me. If you are joining me live, please say hello. Welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast, episode 641. Hi, Kathy, Melissa, Donna, Jackie. Thanks for joining me live. Not sure what happened to the first broadcast this morning, but anyway, uh, we're here. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Geraldine, Lorraine. So I went to push go live on the original one that was scheduled for today. Hi, Frayed Nuts. Hi, Carmen. Hi, Anna. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Sherry. And it just started giving me that wheel that it was just trying to go live, but never did. Hi, Lisa and Joe. Good morning, Grace. Hi, Joyce. Hi, Joe. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Debbie. Yay, glad you found me. Hi, Joe. Yeah, when stuff like that happens, the only thing I can attempt is to shut it down and go live again, but there's no way to give you the link until it's been done. So I'm glad you guys could find me. Anybody that didn't find me right away and watches the recorded version, thanks for coming back. I know it's a big old pain to have technical issues, and I'm sorry about that. Hi, Judy. Hi, Judy. Two Judys. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Deb and Debbie. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast, episode 641. We are here live in Southwest Florida in my beautiful tropical backyard. Hi, Jill, Mary. Good morning, Lily, Carol. Hi, G. Hi, Kim. Hi, Rita. So as promised, I have left joining the sides of the new dress to doing live this morning. Hopefully I can get to both sides and try it on live. And yes, and in order to do that, I also am wearing a crochet dress because I wanted to have the lining dress on underneath. So I'm wearing the Thalia crochet dress this morning, which I love, and I'm wearing it over one of the bodycon dresses in my Amazon shop and Spanx. Wearing white on white, which is definitely a gorgeous look on its own. You could also do contrast or nude underlayer. White on white makes me feel like I should have a flower in my hair, but there was no time to find a flower this morning, so that's okay too. But I wanted to have this white underlayer on so that when we finish sewing up this dress, I can show it to you with the white underlayer as well. So I think we should probably get started because I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to sew up two sides. When you are sewing longer seams like this, you can sew in multiple sections if you prefer. If you don't like having a long piece of yarn for sewing, you can do it in 2-foot sections, and then you'll just need to bind off, weave in ends, and start another piece. Some seams are way too long to possibly do in one piece, especially like when you're using a needle and thread and sewing like the lining to a crochet bag. It would be impossible to go all the way around in one piece. So keep that in mind when you're sewing with yarn and a yarn needle as well. It is perfectly fine to work in whatever section of yarn you're comfortable with. When you get into larger pieces like this, you do run the risk of having loops or loops that become little knots. Not that you can't get them out, but you run the risk of that stuff happening. So the other thing that I wanted to mention is if you are not comfortable with staying even going from one side to the other when you're sewing a seam, you could lay this flat on a table. In fact, I could do that if you guys would prefer to see that. Also, you could add stitch markers at certain points along the way to make sure that you stay on track between the section so that you're working evenly up both sides. It's really important that you work evenly up both sides. I'm not convinced I want the dress to be sewn all the way to the end. I kind of think that I would like to have a little bit of a side vent, and I can't decide. I feel like I should decide. Thank you, Judy, for posting links to everything that I've talked about so far. I have also posted those same links in the video description as well as in the recorded comments. So if you want to come back later, you can find those there as well. All right, so what I might do is start at the underarm seam here instead. And I'm just going to pick up into the very first stitch at the edge of each side here. And I should probably bring the camera closer. Yeah, split ring stitch markers will definitely help you stay even in between the two rows. So what we want to do first is match up the pattern, okay? So we've got our drop stitch, our solid section, we've got another drop stitch, another solid section, we've got another drop stitch, another solid section. I'm going to join in the bottom of this solid section, and I am eyeballing it for my underarm seam, but what I'm going to do is leave my tail long in case I need to sew up any more of it once I've tried the dress on. But that's a good length to eyeball, and you can do this based on whatever size you're making, whatever size of an armhole you like, because depending on what the pattern says, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you have to do for an armhole opening. You may like a long armhole opening, you may like a short one, you may need to cover a certain type of under slip dress, you may need to cover a certain type of bra. There's no a pattern is simply a guideline for getting you started. You have the ability to custom make your wardrobe when you are hand making your own clothing. And that's what I consider knitting and crocheting garments is, you know, making your own clothing and therefore also customizing your own wardrobe. Okay, so now because of the drop stitches, we're actually going to work that next stitch down in the solid section and just kind of ease our tail along, and it's going, or not our tail, our sewing yarn along, and matching it to a drop stitch and then securing it in that same stitch again with a little tiny knot. What we want to do is match the stitch pattern, and that's why I wanted to show this one to you on camera. This one's a little different than the way we would normally do a sewing a seam, and that's because we're trying to match rows of drop stitch and rows of solid fabric. So the solid fabric is pretty easy. We're going to do it same way as we did the shoulder seams. We'll work down vertically through 2 threads. And because I'm using a very long piece of yarn, I'm just going to try to be careful to not get it tangled at all. Okay, and now I'm at another drop stitch on both sides. So I'm going to come down to the next solid section and grab a loop in both sides and allow, and this is one of the reasons why you really want your fabrics to have been blocked already, because however long those drop stitches are is how long you need them to stay for gauging how long you want your threads to be for your seams. Okay, down to another one here. I'm going to take that belt off too. Get it out of the way. And once we get a little lower here, I will lower the camera so you can see. Is everybody seeing this all right? This is the right side, Constance, yes. Although the fabric is completely reversible, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, actually it's not. I take that back, it's not reversible. This is the right side of the fabric. Is it still on camera? No. All right, so let's move the camera down a little bit. Oh, we see a kitty now. Okay, so we've worked our way down the next solid section of stripes, so we've got another drop stitch here, so we're going to come down to the next section of solid. And thereby elongating that. Yes, you can use the mattress stitch for sure. You can use any stitch you want. Whatever you think looks nice and whatever you're comfortable using is fine. Some sewing stitches work better on the wrong side, some work better on the right side, but what I'm trying to show you, regardless of which stitch you choose to use, is how to approach those drop stitch rows after you've sewn with whichever stitch you prefer for the solid sections. What you need to do is make sure that you're adjusting the length of your stitch for the drop stitch sections. Hopefully you can see that okay. And let's see, let me bring this down some more. There we go. Yeah, some sewn stitches for seaming work better on the wrong side, some work better on the right side, and whichever you prefer is fine. But what you'll be doing differently for this particular pattern is adjusting for the length of the drop stitches. So that is what you would have to adjust for regardless of the type of actual stitches you're doing to create the seam in the solid fabric. Does that make sense to everybody? Well, this is a hybrid, Vera. This is a hybrid because I am trying to mimic the drop stitch in between the solid sections. And that's why I thought it was worth showing on camera this morning, because it definitely is a hybrid. And it's a hybrid that you can do with whichever type of seaming stitch you prefer. Even if you were going to try to knit or crochet your seams together, you would still need to accommodate for those longer stitches in the middle. And it's really important to make sure that you're lining up your work so that those stripes continue from front to back. So you can see our drop stitch stripe continues from front to back. Our solid stitches continue from front to back. And again, this is personal preference, but I prefer to add some knots along the way in a row for a couple of reasons. I think it helps to secure, and I'm not of that mindset that knots are taboo in knitting and crochet, as you know, if you've watched my videos for a long time. But also, just with wear and tear, I would hate for something to get snagged on my actual seam line and pull on my whole seam. So if I'm securing it every couple of inches with a little knot, then there is no way for a snag to happen on that seam thread. Now we're pretty close to the end down here, and I am really debating leaving this so that I can do the other side to this point, because I wanted to show you what this dress would look like if we left a side vent anyway. So I'm just going to secure this one and leave the tail long so that I can come back and work on it again if I want. And then we'll turn the dress around and get this far on the other side. Okay. Yeah, thanks for somebody for mentioning that it's a great lesson. Seaming is a really important part of knitting and crochet. It's the finishing touches that really make a difference between making something look professional or not professional, right? So let's count down how many. So we had a solid, a solid, a solid. We joined in the fourth solid here. So we've got a solid, solid, a solid, a solid. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah, so I counted the stripes on the other side to make sure that I line up this side as well. And it'll look, if you don't have your shoulder seam just right at the top of the mannequin or dress form, it'll make you think that you're not even here. So you notice how once I counted down to my stripes, and you could do this in inches if you didn't have a stripe element to reference on your fabric. You really do need to count down exactly in inches from the shoulder seam to both sides, because if this isn't placed right at the center of that shoulder, let's say my shoulder seam's here. Well, gee, doesn't look like my seam's gonna line up right either. So it's really important to gauge all of that from the shoulder seam. And I know this is correct because I not only matched up my stitch pattern, which is identical. Let's see, get that out of the way. Find my needle. Okay. So now, just want this out of the way a little bit. Okay. So now we'll come back and start sewing again. You notice how slow I'm going too? I find that if you rush during seaming, it doesn't look as nice. It is always, I feel like it's always much better to take your time when you're seaming, because a proper seam will be invisible on your finished piece and is really the difference between something looking professional and well made and not. It really is worth taking the time to do it right. So excited to try this on, you guys. I can't wait to, so I have no idea what this is gonna look like on. It's certainly possible that that it's not gonna look cute on. I have not tested this out to make sure that I don't have a blunder live, which I think is so fun and exciting. That's a little excitement to my life. I'm assuming it's going to look nice on, but I can assure you I have no idea. We are doing all of this completely live, which how fun is that, right? Don't know how long it's going to take to do the seams. Don't know how it's going to look on. Don't know if it's going to look cuter with the belt or not. Don't know if it's going to require losing 5 pounds to do the photo shoot. I mean, this is just real life, guys. This is real, and I don't have all the answers, but I do have the experience to show you how to make these seams look great, at least. I'm trying to answer, what color is this? This is Be So Sporty Silver Bling yarn in colorway Caribbean Turquoise. So yeah, going back to what we've talked about with lining and wearing an underlayer, this would make a fabulous tunic. This would make a fabulous beach cover-up. It would make a fabulous dress. And because I wanted you to have all of those options, that's why I made it in 2 pieces from the top down. So you make a back and a front separate and then sew them together so that you have the options of what kind of a armhole opening you want, what kind of side vent or hemline you want on the bottom, whether you want to use the belt or not. The belt is going to be a great option for all 3, whether you're doing it as a tunic, a dress, or a beach cover-up. I think the belt could definitely be used as a fun accessory. I think you could also do a skinnier belt, like a crochet chain belt, so that you could weave in and out of the fabric as well if you wanted to do that style belt. Yeah, it's a tunic made from the top down. So honestly, if you didn't, this is 33 inches long as is, because I measured the length of a dress that I love in my wardrobe. You know those Lily Pulitzer dresses that I wear pretty often on the podcast? Well, those are 33 inches long, and I love that length for a dress. So I figured out my gauge for this fabric and made the dress after blocking 33 inches. And the reason I say it like that is because as you're knitting it, it does not look like that. You have to know your gauge swatch in order to make sizing decisions while knitting, because you can't really block while you're knitting per se, but if you've blocked a gauge swatch, you will know what it's supposed to be. Okay, is this about the length of the other side? It's possible. Let's see how much I left open. Yep, we've got one more section here to, let's get that little knot so we get little, this one's just below, this one's, I think we could go one more here. And it looks like I may have made a mistake somewhere along the line here in maybe in blocking both sides evenly, or maybe in seaming correctly. It looks like one side is longer than the other one on this side and not on the other side, which speaks to me of a blocking issue, not an actual stitching issue, because it worked out fine on the other side. But guess what? We're ready to try on now. We made it. It was only 21 minutes with only 21 minutes to seam the both sides with technical difficulties. That's not too shabby. Okay, so I'm gonna have to take this dress off to put this one on. Whoops. Get that out of the way. It's looking pretty cute. Okay, I'm not gonna put on a white underslip on camera, so I'm gonna go off camera for a second here, but I'll be right back. Okay, couple things right away. I did not eyeball the armhole openings the way I want, or did I? They seem a little snug. I could probably take those out just a smidge, or try, just keep it on for a minute, because I do like a tight armhole when you're going to wear stuff underneath. Let's get this higher so you can see more of the dress. Oh, I may need to pull the whole thing up. Hold on. Let me see how much of the tripod I can move. I've got more legs here. Hold on. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now I'll back up, and so I've got my strings. Oh, I still can't see. Oh, I can pull this down now. There. Now back up. Almost there. Okay. Oh. Okay. So it could either be a little bit longer, or it could just be a tunic. I'm not sure that. See, I'd have to hike this dress up a little bit in order to make it work with this slip dress. Or I would have to make the dress longer, or I could call it a tunic and call it a day. So I do have more yarn, so I could add some length to it, but I wanted to show it to you belted as well. And imagine this with shorts or pants as a tunic. Definitely very, very pretty too. I love the yoke. I think that's adorable. I do love the belting idea. I think that this is actually going to be too short for me as a dress. Definitely belted, because once you belt something, you do pull up the length. So even if I belted it lower and did something like that, the blousing effect, then it's more of a top than a tunic, and that's super cute. But again, too short for a dress. So definitely adorable as a top. And because it's a top-down construction, you can decide how long you want anything to be anyway. If I were 5 or 10 pounds lighter, it would be longer than my underslip right now, which is perfect for a beach cover-up. I would wear this over a bikini, no question. And I would wear it over jeans, white jeans, and a white tank top, no question, or over shorts. I love it. It's just, I think for me, might just be a smidge too short. Yeah, belting with belting and blousing is an absolutely fantastic way to take any short dress and make it a tunic. Remember my white dress that I used to wear as a dress, and it's too short on me now because of the weight I've gained. Dresses that become too short become tunics over jeans and pants, and leggings, no problem. But yay, we're getting there. What size is this place? This is a size 40. The pattern is going to come in sizes 36 to 52. It's easily customizable beyond that as well. And this is size 40. And it has lots of give at the bottom, so it's definitely A-line. It starts skinny and goes wider, which is great for drape, great for ease around your hips and your bum, great for sitting down and standing up. See how much width we have down there? Lots of options when you have that kind of width, definitely. So the pattern is in process. We have pattern is sized and is in tech editing now. So when I decide how I'm going to finish this and style it for myself, I'll do the photo shoot and then release the pattern. So I hope you guys like it. Let's see. Yeah, no, the pattern can't come out until the sample's done and photographed. Yeah, it would be great as a top or as a dress or as a cover-up. Any of those three options. The stitch pattern is gorgeous. I love, love, love the stitch pattern. I think it's amazing. I may end up adding a little more length at the end to make it a dress, or I may just convert it to a tunic. I haven't decided. Yeah, A-line looks great on most people. And honestly, just like we've talked about so many other times before, wearing a slimmer fitted underlayer over a sheer overlayer is very, very flattering on most body shapes. Note this is knit, Native Peacemaker. This one is knit. Thanks, Dorothy. This is A-line, Kim. This is Be So Sporty Bling yarn, which is #2 sport weight bamboo yarn with a thread of pure silver plied right into it. Thank you very much. I'm very happy with the way it came out. Feels weird having the seams dangling down around me, but I'll have it finished soon. Back up one more time so you can see the full length. Super duper cute. You know, an edging might be pretty along the bottom too. I don't know, I like the simplicity of the stitch pattern with solid edges as well. If I make it longer, will I take it apart? No. Tammy says it looks cute over the white dress. You know, I have to go and work on I have to go see how much wiggle room I have in the dress and if it makes sense to just hike up the dress a little bit, because I really wanted to wear this as a dress. And if I can get it, I did like hike it up a little bit. See, I'll back the camera down a minute. I mean, it's the length of other dresses in my closet. So now that I did hike up the slip a little bit, see, the thing I was worried about is that I don't know how long my Spanx are compared to my slip dress, because I'm not in front of my mirror, I'm live on camera. So when I get back to my bedroom in front of my mirror, what I'm going to figure out is how high up, like my Spanx end here and my dress ends there. I think I'm totally fine as a dress now. I can't even see with my glasses. Anyway, I'm going to probably keep it as a dress. If you make it, Sandshell, if you're going to make yours longer, you would just work in the established pattern longer. Yeah, you can't see the Spanx end here, see? So I still have 2.5 inches beyond the dress, and that's after hiking up the dress. So actually, forget everything I said. This one's a dress for me, and I'm sticking with it because I really wanted it as a dress to wear when I go out again. And if I want to wear it as a tunic, because you know how I love to make things that you can style in multiple ways, you have a belt. If you want to wear it as a tunic over pants, you would simply wear the belt and blouse it up. That is a gorgeous way to wear it in 2 different ways. You could also do a stretchy belt if you didn't want to make the knit belt. But it is definitely going to be a dress with tunic and beach cover-up options. So that's it. I think we're done. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes with me. I hope you enjoyed the sewing tutorial, the show and tell, the drum roll anticipation of whether it was going to work or not, which it did, and I'm very happy about that. I'm so excited to wear this dress. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I'm so glad you guys had fun with this as well, and with chatting with me and everyone else here. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.